All right. Welcome, everyone, on today's session. I'm Michael. I'm one of the co-founders of Nuvo, and today with us we have Alexander. He's co-founder and CEO at Apperon. And today we will discuss how Apperon switched from internal data onboarding to 100% customer self-service. A lot of interested people in our customer base that switched to self-service. A lot of people want to go PLG first, so exciting topics to discuss. Before diving into the introduction, as a short information, our panel today will run for around 10 to 15 minutes. We will discuss the challenges of data onboarding with enterprise clients. We'll have a very short deep dive into the build versus buy discussion, and then actually go into the topic itself. Customer data onboarding through self-service, what should be considered, what is relevant to the clients, and then Alex will actually share some insights on their shift from internally driven to a self-service environment. On top of that, please feel free to share your questions on the bottom right of the live storm applications. Our team will internally pick it up, and if we are not able to actually bring that up during the Q&A session, we will surely make sure to get back to you after the session is complete. And now, without further ado, welcome, Alex. Really happy to have you on board. Really happy to call you customers of Nuvo. Would you share a few insights on yourself and on Apperon?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. My name is Alex. I'm the co-founder of Apperon and CEO. We built a tool to make it easy for all companies to build all their field service apps and without any developer. So you have not to hire a team or developer to make changes to build your own app and see all your data you need in the field as a sales representative or a technician in the field, very, very detailed and prepared for your daily work. Apperon is based on a no-code model and gives you the opportunity to build this unique app. You have to do not use already created app, so you have this customized version to provide the perfect information and knowledge you need, and this in an automated way, so you can always pick the right information at the right time and bring your sales team or your technician team to the next level without a huge project from 2 months, 3 months, or years to get it ready for the market or for your team. And we focus on this no-code tool. This is where Nuvo fits perfectly to us for their no-code solution, and make this accessible through different systems to our models and systems. You can create your own app from parts you need, for example, a catalog or a small CRM or something else. There are thousands of different versions you can combine from these models. We do this with AI processing. This also fits with Nuvo. We will do some data migration or enhancement, and then Nuvo provides us a simple way to onboard our customers with these data and processes later with a very unique style. Yeah, this is Apperon.
Awesome. Thanks so much. And I recall actually that when you built the product, when you built out the POC, this is kind of when you directly dove into looking for vendors, looking for a tool, because file data plays such a significant role in your business segment that you are currently operating in. And this is where we came together. This is why we invited you to the webinar, but probably for everyone also joining the session, a few words about Nuvo. We currently build secure, scalable solutions in the data importing space. So we have our importer SDK, our no-code data pipelines ready for you to have external data coming in, like CSVs, like Excel, like legacy system data, and automatically map, validate, clean, and import that data in a very nice non-technical UI for your users to actually be guided through that process. But let's actually dive into the panel questions then Alex. I mean, we know that you directly onboard enterprise clients, so it was a larger scale onboarding in itself. But run us through a typical customer onboarding scenario pre-Nuvo times. What type of data did Apperon receive? How did that go, and how did you solve it before actually looking for a solution?
Yeah, to onboard our customers' data and our customers was very hard for us and very time consumptive because there are so many different files and file types we receive from our customers with a very good and very bad quality of data and very messed up style. So you have these typically these Excel files or with some XML files, but there are also many different other file types we receive from our customers, and we have to proceed it and make it fit to our importer with custom import solution or converters to make it easily accessible for our team via Excel or other tools, and then send it back to the customer to check it up. And they are very, very big files. So we have thousands or 100,000 lines of Excel in these sheets. So you have many problems at the time. So there are also some lines, they are unique, but sometimes they are not too unique, and some different changes through these lines. So for example, when you have a machine with different gears or tools in it, you have variant sizes of gears you use, and then sometimes there's an update. So you have this different stage of data, and you sometimes mess it up with some of the stages, and so our team have to do this very detailed, and it's very hard work every day to do this for us. So we need very much manpower for this. And then you have sometimes errors and validations and not fitting links or something else. So there are so different kinds of errors. You have always to check it up and call with the customers to ask, okay, what's the correct information at this time?
I think we're kind of jumping into one of the latest topics already, that email ping pong is very significant, and this is why self-service needs to be jumped up because of the support tickets arising. But let's move back to the first question. So you have high volumes of data, you have different structures, different column names, errors in the data validation process. So how did Apperon solve this feed of various file formats? You mentioned it was Excel, it was scripts that you built, it was a highly manual process. Could you share some insights here?
Yeah, for example, we built a converter from, it's an SAP export file, and then we do some mapping with a script from the standard export to everything we can use and show our customers. So we reduces the file size, the data and everything with a script, but the script runs 10 minutes. So it would always be a very time consumptive to waiting for the export and then check it. And maybe you have to switch something, a column name or something else. And you have always this bad feeling. So, okay, will it work or will it not work?
I think this is really key to the process. And when we actually, I think from the first 50 clients actually that we onboarded, we saw that 90% already had import processes involved. They obviously had manual and administrative processes. They built out internal scripts to be able to convert that data. But I think what is so important is to shed some light and transparency into what costs are involved in that process. So do you have an idea at this point what costs actually were incurred by that manual process, by that Excel heavy process that you actually ran inside your company?
Yeah, sometimes it's a full-time job for one person to proceed all these files. So we have this bulk editing at the end of the month or when end of the quarter, when the data changes, the prices changes. So we have a person to process all these files at one time because all customers try to update their data. So it's very cost and time consumptive for us. And then also decide on the customer, they have to provide us feedback or ask some questions why we did this so, or can we update something else? So there are also many people involved at the customer side.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I think really that multiple team members are involved in that process, or multiple departments itself. You have the developer capacity actually going to those scripts. Yeah. You have potentially onboarding teams that manually work on those. You have the import support tickets that arise, and this is why I certainly believe that importing is such an intransparent topic when it comes to actually calculating costs and understanding why this topic should actually get a lot more attention, in our opinion.
Yeah.
On one of the questions that we actually received on data validation reference to existing data, I think this is also what you call up. It's actually updating existing data of the client, right? And this is what it usually makes it tough. And this is probably also, and we will clear this out in the question round afterwards. But this is the question for me that directly leads to why is importing complex, and why is that actually complex to build something like that in-house? What I realized is that you came to us and you directly mentioned this leads to dissatisfaction. For us, it's super clear. We're looking for a vendor to actually build this out. But when technical departments dive into such topics, it's always a build versus buy discussion, right? Looking, hey, should we actually set something up internally, or should we really spend external budget on it? Is this important enough? And could you let us know how you basically decided what's best for your product and for your clients, and why you decided for external?
Yeah, first we are a startup, so we have no time, we have no money. That's very easy. So this is a very hard task for us to ensure that our money and our team can focus on everything we have to do for our product. And it's not one of the key features of our product to import data. We would work with this data. And so it's a very short decision for us to say, okay, we use an external tool who fits perfect and bring us this data into our system we need. And not to build a system that we are not focusing on and make it bigger and bigger and more unflexible for us and more time consumptive to build. And we have some errors at this stage. And when you calculate all these steps, you have a second product you developed to your product for importing data. And this is not what we are trying to do as a startup. We are fast. We are will to beat the market and the problems, and not to focus on importing data. So it was a fast decision for us to say, okay, there's a company, they built this tool, and this tool works perfect. And every time they update something, we can check, okay, is this a good feature for us or not? And can we implement it, or can we make our own product better and leave it to our customers to use our product with their data, and not to focus on importing or using our bad importer.
Yes, I think in this case, key is also, we always see customers calculating a business case, and there is so much opportunity, revenue generating and cost saving measure that are not included in that. We always see that business cases are purely calculated on how much roadmap is saved on that product. Yeah. But essentially think about, okay, we can really focus on what works best for our clients and really increase product functionalities in itself, have a really fast go-to-market, potentially go self-service right away. And there is certainly a difficulty in producing such a UI and a UX. Thinking about self-service is tough. And there is also more certainty when knowing this has been tested across multiple organizations in different countries, that non-technical people can actually import that data. And that's why it's hard to replicate, but it's also something that you really, really need to think about. All right. What I think is also on the later point, something that should be mentioned is that maintenance is a really heavy point. I figured that for every client that is actually jumping in, we see that clients usually have to work on their import scripts. It's not generically possible to use this for multiple clients. Whenever a client comes, they always say, we are very special. We have an edge case. And then you have to start putting dev resources on this again. And actually, by utilizing AI, and this is why I think this topic is so important, we can make sure that once you actually implemented the tool, it generically works across all customers that there are. Which kind of brings us now to the main panel question. I mean, as we said, Apperon switched from internal data onboarding to 100% customer self-service. This is kind of a dream come true for a lot of companies. It really can drive growth, can increase flexibility, but probably let's get your point of view. Why would you go self-serve at all? Is this actually a reasonable step to do? Why did you choose to do so?
Yeah, we have figured out as to increase our volume we can handle on the side of imports and customers. It's a bottleneck for us. So we have to make it faster, make it more flexible, and make it as faster and simpler. We try to focus on this to make a solution that is very fast for us and for our customers. So Apperon itself is no code and self-service solution. So our team is not the first level support. You are the first level support as a customer from us. Our tool will tell you what to do, or you can ask what to do. And Nuvo fits in this perfect. We tried a little bit in our platform, and then we see, okay, this makes it very easy for our customers to onboard their data. And when we are not involved in this onboarding process and this import process, we can focus to our customers and our other features and make it faster to go to the market, or make it easier for them to fix errors. These validation errors was very horrible. So our customers see these errors in the importer and can fix it in the importer. So sometimes it's a missing minus or plus or something else. And this will bring you back in the old time to email ping pong with the customers. They have to check it, they have to fix it, they have to send us a new file, and there's another new error in this file. And the customers now can focus on this self-service solution to make it easier for them and for us. So our customers love this importer because they can do it in a few minutes and have to wait 10 hours, 2 days, maybe longer, how big and how many errors are in the file.
What I think is also the beauty of it is there is a bit of a concern to say, okay, we now put the workload on them, right?
Yeah.
We can say, okay, it's increased flexibility, but at the same time, they have to do it. But usually we see clients don't complain. They are fully fine with onboarding it with themselves if it runs through an efficient process. And communication on the front end is so important, because exactly what you said, it doesn't actually matter whether it's a server callback and we're trying to actually see what is the active data or master data that is in the system already and what we should override, or it's just a missing comma in one of those fields. This sets you back with the email ping pong to, I don't know, 1 or 2 weeks suddenly, because they reprioritize. One person goes on vacation, and it's terrible actually, while this process can be saved within just a few minutes. Okay, but then when actually building your self-service process, what factors do you think should be considered when setting it up? And what are your users? What do you think is really important for them when looking into the self-service importer?
Yeah, I think we have these two parts when we think about using Nuvo to our product. So we have this customer side to make it that it fits to our product. So we have this styling and user interface and usability thing on the one side, and you have this IT technical team on the other side, my team, to create the interactions with our API. So our onboarding is very unique for the customers, and we have to do some preparing to the data we have about the schema the customer is using, and make it fit to Nuvo. But it was very easy for us. So we have a script that processes on time when you ask for the importer what's the structure and what data is required, what the validation fields, everything else. So this was very easy for us because the team of Nuvo have written this very good documentation. It's very easy to read and it's very logical. And the whole team helps us to create this data and always reacts very fast to our questions. So we can build this in a very short time and make updates or make it perfect for our customers. Then on the other side, the user interface team asks, okay, we have this very simple solution. It's very floating and easy to use for our customers to click through and click on everything they see. We have this, okay, what do you want? Click on it. And Nuvo provides us this possibility to use it in our user interface, make it looks like our own platform. And so we have no gap between our platform and Nuvo. So there's none stepping out from our platform. And this is the very easy thing to our customers. And they report us to us. They don't know that it's not our own importer. They think it's our platform. And that's fit perfect. And so our UX team was very happy with it.
I think consultation is a big word that is part of the process, really, to have an implementation call with our technical resources as well, because we realized when building a tool in the import market that everyone comes around and say we have very special clients. You know, our spreadsheets are the worst, which, you know, we've seen some rough spreadsheets for sure. But it's super important to sit down, think who's the user importing the data, and then there are multiple steps. There's a sheet selection, a header selection, a mapping, a data cleaning process. And some of these parts can be automatically skipped, for example, or shown in a different scenario. And it really is key to understand how technical are my users. What type of data do I receive? If it's actually structured quite well, we might be able to auto skip actually over a large part of these steps right away, and have some confidence in this. And this is really key to structure, to start actually with some beta clients, for example, and then create the perfect process out of our documentation. And this is probably where I was aiming at, because I recall you did like a major POC then with your first enterprise client. So how did you ensure that it's a smooth process to let's say, you know, you started to implement the Nuvo tool, but what would be your recommendations when actually shifting to self-service, how people should run through? I know we give some tips as well, but how did you do it?
So for us, the first thing we thought about was, okay, who is the person will try to import data? And then we have a few examples, but we might think or see later then it's very important to understand, is there a technical logic or a technical know-how, knowledge, or is there a person who can work with the data, so some product or knowledge about the lines, or is it a third person with no idea what they're doing? And later we can see that it's not so difficult, that there are three different persons. The importer is so simple that's, you have not to think about it. Who is this person? So you have to think about, okay, how easy can this maybe for every person be? Because when it's easy and simple, it's for everyone's easy and simple. And then maybe you can skip these steps of overthinking. So what we do, we see these Excel files, and the first try was, okay, what's happened when I took this file to Nuvo? And then there was an output. Okay, I see, okay, there's some lines. Okay, I have to update our mapping a little bit and the names, but you have a very, very fast feedback when you try it. So maybe took a few Excel files and try it. and then you will see very fast the differences or the similarity to what you expect. And that's what very easy to our team, because they can say, okay, we have not to read 5 days documentation, we can try it. And this is a kind of self-service maybe also. So you can do this as self-service with our developer team and try, and when there are some questions, you get always a correct and fast answer. So maybe my tip is, do not think so much, try it maybe.
I think this is like, do the POC with the client first, and probably also from the Nuvo side, because I think we should dive into questions now.
Yeah.
Is obviously build your POC as fast as possible with our tech team, just in a day or a few days, depending on how complex your import processes are. Do a POC with a single client if you want to get the assurance, and then roll it out. I mean, we see that there is a lot of support requests and issues arising from existing import workflows, and we always see that there is an improvement happening right away anyways. And not overthinking is actually a great tip, but set it up, do a POC with a single client, even in the testing framework, see how it behaves, how they react on the front end side, and I believe then you can very confidently switch to self-service. And probably to kind of sum it up before diving into a few questions, I know that there are probably people waiting to get answers before I've passed. I always ask this towards the end of the webinar: did self-service work for you? Is importing solved for you?
We love self-service. Our complete company is doing self-service, and this fits perfect to our thinking of working with customers. And we are the support team for our customers. And we are not the guys who created this tool. So when you make it interactive to your customer, they will love it. So they always have this feedback. I created the import. You can talk to your colleague and say, hey, I've imported the data in that. I sent an email to the guy to import the data. Yeah, it's maybe the easiest thing, and they will love your importer.
Awesome. Thanks so much for the feedback. For everyone else, on Apperon's case, you can definitely read through it in the case study that will be published very soon. Because besides that, Alex, we actually have 4 questions lined up already. Yeah. We'll chronologically start. I know that there are 2 rather on the Nuvo side, which I will quickly run through. It's about pricing models. I noticed the pricing model is per line of data. And the question is, what is classed as a line? And to give a very short answer, the length does not matter. We actually count a record in a sheet. So basically an entry. So if it is actually 50 columns or 20 columns, we do not differentiate here, but just count it as one record then. And the other one was actually, can reports be generated to show totals and numbers imported? Yes, that can also be done. You actually have a dashboard when you log into it, and can have a quick look here. Also in the review entry step, you can download existing sheets, and we pre-mark the errors actually in a light red, so you can even communicate with your client. That was incorrect data. Do you want to have a look before we actually import it? So there are a number of reports that you can generate here as well. And then probably also to you, Alex, how much time did you actually need to set up the importer to create the POC of your product? I think there is 2 questions on uncertainty on how a POC can be created.
I think it was a few days. So I have a very, very fast learning curve. So can do this first look in a few minutes, and then you have to make it perfect fit to you. And this is a process. It's a very fast process in a few days, and maybe weeks later, some small learnings are there, just adjustments. So you have not a big team to working on this. I've built this POC in a few days on my own, and the team focused on the complete product. So that's not so heavy.
Awesome. Let's jump through it as we did continue. Did you have any concern, or your clients any concerns regarding data privacy? That's a big one. We always get that one, obviously, as a EU-based company.
Yeah, it's always the same question from our customers also. So there's no problem. We can talk to the processing is always in front end. So there, and anything you have to do is your own data processing at your server. So there's this data privacy with your company, and Nuvo runs not on any server. So the data is processed in the browser. So you have no data privacy problems because it will not leave the browser and not leave your company. And this would make it very easy for us.
Yes, I think it's generally, we have CRMs, HR management systems, we have fintechs as clients, highly sensitive data. We do not process that. You don't have to back-to-back give that out to your client. I think that was just super important for the for the agreement that we set up with clients themselves. All right, we have one question for Alex. There are questions of what was the uptake in onboardings since using Nuvo. They're asking for some real numbers. Feel free to just say what you are comfortable with saying. Besides that, on anyone asking the question, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn or via email, depending on what you are willing to share, Alex.
So you can send me an email or a LinkedIn, then I can show you some numbers. Because we are startups, we have this very fast growing curve. So I can show you the numbers you really need. They're differentiating from industries and customers.
I think what was also a differentiation, and we can also share some insights here. I know that you have clients that have hundreds of data or files during importing. So you're also on the very high side of number of spreadsheets per customer, to be honest. So probably I could, to the person who asked them, share some insights here as well.
Yeah, we are processing 500,000 lines maybe in one import.
All right. Then we have one question, whether an interim solution can be created to assist with the creation of CSV files for manual upload whilst products are updated. I think that's steered towards me. I mean, not sure if I need some more elaboration here, but the data can be edited once imported from the site in a spreadsheet type of view. So you can manually edit the data quite efficiently in an Excel-like feel. There is also generally the possibility to have manual editing functionalities inside the spreadsheet function of us in itself. So if that actually goes in the right direction, yes, it's possible to, let's say, misuse our importer for also some manual editing or some preloading of data from the existing database into the spreadsheet in itself. And if there are some more questions to it, happy to chat on that or answer through email. All right, Alex, we are through all questions as far as it looks. And we are over time. So really like to thank you for taking the time to share some insights on how you successfully switched to 100% customer self-service. Really happy that you are clients of Nuvo. To everyone who joined, thank you so much for your time. Feel free to visit our website. Feel free to book a demo on a Calendly button on the bottom of the landing page if you want to talk to a rep. Besides that, you can reach me at michael@getnuvo.com. And Alex, once again, thanks so much for co-hosting today with me and wishing you a great week ahead.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.